First we had Internet Historian, then we had Crobe Cop, and now we got NakeyJakey. All three of these YouTubers are phenomenal, and they upload only one time a year. So Nakey, it's your turn. Ads and video games. Let's get started. Welcome back.
Advertisements, aka ads, aka that thing you see everywhere, all of the time. No matter where you go, and no matter what you do, ads can and will find you, Brian. That is a certainty in life, along with death and taxes and that thing when the waiter says, enjoy your food, and you say, I love you too, senpai. In video games,
I don't say that.
The beautiful, magical world of escapism and wonder that is video game, sadly it, no exception. Video games have been tainted with the foul odor and slimy snail trail of product placement and advertising for many a fortnight. Pun intended, son, unfriended. But is all advertising in video games bad? Are some ads for good and not just greed? How did we get here? And where the hell are we going, Brian? Dude, you're driving, just hand me your phone. Multitasking is not one of your starting attributes, Brian. The year is 1978 AD.
After that.
Advertising. Scott Adams releases Adventureland, a text-based game with no graphics, and even worse, no kill streaks. And yet, Adventureland holds one of the earliest examples of in-game advertising. An ad for Scott's next, upcoming, even sexier game, Pirate Adventure. Ooh, shiver me timbers. Look out, Sea of Thieves. Scott be like, yo, Microsoft Sea of Thieves nuts can fit in your mouth. I'm sorry. Okay.
Got him.
Scott be like, yo, Microsoft Sea of Thieves nuts can fit in your mouth. I'm sorry. Okay, so it's the 80s and product placement is already in f***ing everything. But also, PP is starting to show up in the world of video games as well, primarily in the form of the advert game, which is exactly what it sounds like. A video game built solely around advertising a single product or company. One of the first advert games is in 1983 with Tapper prominently featuring Budweiser and sold to be played in bars, but nobody really gives a shit about the product placement because they're drunk, but also the game is just really fun. So fun that a year later the game was rebranded as Root Beer Tapper and sold in regular arcades for children too. So now all the kids are like, hey bud, why'd you put this A&W, man? I'm shit hammered. Now the big video game crash of 1983 would slow things down for a bit, but the late 80s and 90s saw a huge resurgence of advert games. Talking about Donald Land over in Japan in 1988, because over there, Ronald McDonald is often known as Donald McDonald.
What?
I am just
You making that up?
I'm just enamored by that. Capcom publishes in 1990 well, not as immediately.
Shout out to the angry video game nerd.
Recognizable as our beloved Don Bon Jovi over here, Noid was once the iconic mascot of none other than Domino's Pizza. Fun fact about Yo Noid is that it's actually just a reskin of this Japanese game that I will let my anime fans help me pronounce. That's about a ninja boy who rescues children who have been kidnapped. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I get kidnapped, first thing I do is order Domino's Pizza. Cool Spot drops in 1993, and honestly, for a game where its entire lore and existence is solely based on the red spot on the 7-Up logo, whoa, the game gets pretty.
I think the Irate Gamer did a video on this. Shout out to the Irate Gamer. If y'all know who that is, boy, that's really OG.
Good reviews, and people actually kind of like it. There's a closet behind me in this apartment, and I almost just fully fell into it. Chex Quest drops in 1996, bundled with certain boxes of Chex cereal.
Who eats Chex? You're disgusting. Eat the Rice Krispies. They're better.
And is clearly just a non-violent reskin of Doom, which is kind of genius. But, disclaimer, if you have a phobia of rice, corn, or wheat, this game may as well be Doom. What the fuck, Brian? I'm gluten-free. Why did you make me play the wheat level, Brian? You're a toad. You've always been a toad, and you're gonna die a toad, Brian. Pepsi Man drops in 1999, only in Japan, unfortunately. Shout out Donald, and I couldn't even begin to tell you what Pepsi Man is advertising. You know, I'm looking around this whole screen, and I am just lost. There are so many of these advert games that I'm sure some of you remember that just kept going and going into the early 2000s. Kind of goes without saying, but obviously these companies are dropping advert games to try and boost sales of their products. smart, right? The question is it actually working? The answer, much like my vision through these shitty glasses, is a little unclear, but it seems to be kind of a case-by-case type deal. Chex claims that Chex Quest boosted their sales by 295% at the...
Hold on a second. Nobody was buying Chex. So the game, yeah, boosted by 200%. That's because nobody was already buying it.
Time, which kind of makes sense because they're getting a free game bundled with a box of cereal, and that game is basically doomed. I mean, that's super smart. But then
nobody else was eating it.
In the case of something like Pepsi Man, where you have to go out of your way and purchase a game with your hard-earned money that is a literal walking advertisement, yeah, you wonder why that didn't sell that well, Einstein. Maybe stick to
I ain't gonna lie, this theme makes me want to fucking sprint my ass off. You hear that?
Why that didn't sell that well, Einstein. Maybe stick to handing police officers cans.
This ad was
fixing
terrible.
All of our problems.
I saw this in
does
school.
That guy ever shut up or what? Hi, I'm Jay.
For a second, I thought this was a whole different YouTuber.
NakeyJakey, and Jakey, attorneys at law. Have you fallen victim to a crappy internet browser? Does that crappy ass browser fail to meet your needs while gaming?
Do you ever
think about me, Linda? Please pick up the phone. I just want to talk to the children. If you're like me, you love to have a bunch of stuff going on in the background while you're gaming. But oopsie doopsie, mama made a poopsie. That Google Chrome web browser you're using to watch that video in the background sure is hogging up a lot of your
uses
CPU
Chrome?
and RAM power levels. What the heck? And now you're getting frame drops and lag in that fast-paced anime game you're always playing.
No.
Shut the hell up about. Now that just will not do. Your Honor objects. Sustained, overruled. Go to jail, get a job. F off. Enter Opera GX, a browser with the ability to limit the amount of CPU and RAM usage that you're willing to let your browser hog up while gaming so it doesn't slow you down. A browser with the ability to limit network bandwidth usage as well to help eliminate performance issues in online games. All useful tools placed within the GX control panel near the top left of the browser.
This is a perfect browser if you're a nerd.
With Opera GX, you are entitled to all sorts of wonderful customization, including, but not limited to, deliciously tasteful themes and fully customizable color combinations, along with the option for light, dark, and auto modes. But
oh my god, always dark. Who is using the browser, any browser, in light mode? My YouTube is in dark mode, my phone, like my wallpaper is in dark mode. Everything is in dark mode.
Real, just put it in dark mode.
Your
Everyone
email
knows dark mode is the best. All options
100%.
located within the easy setup button in the top right corner.
Mode?
Speaking of corners, the GX corner in the top left is your one-stop shop for all things video games. Oh, you want to keep track of upcoming game releases?
Okay. That is very useful actually for me.
To date on current gaming news. Oh, you want to see all the best current gaming deals? Oh, you want an updated and curated list of available free games to download for free, aka what
how much is this gonna cost?
Buy, sell. If you download Opera GX using my special link down below, your GX corner will also have the exclusive feature of showing my recent 12 uploads. So you'll always be up to date when I upload a new video.
We definitely need that because you only upload one time a year. We definitely need to know when it drops.
Like every 10 months or so. If you think Jakey, and Jakey, attorneys at law, can help remedy your web browser problems today, use my link below to download Opera GX. So thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video, and I guess now we'll get back to
the video.
Dr. Dumbass is talking about this time. The history of video games, history of Bakugans. I ought to sue his ass, throw him in the slam house. But what if your PP isn't just in a blatant advert game? What if you sneak your PP into like an actual legit fully priced real video game?
And that's a good thing.
That started happening like a lot in the 90s and 2000s. Sports games are a huge one, with games like Madden, FIFA, 1080, and Tony Hawk all having relevant product placement to each kind of sport. Same with racing games like Need for Speed or Gran Turismo showcasing real car brands and real car parts. Same with Croc 2 advertising fucking little guys. I should have just said Crocs. It would have been way better if I just said Crocs. Damn it, Brian. Stick to the script! So far, all of my non-advert game examples have been pretty tame, and there's actually a solid argument that that product placement could actually add to the immersion of that type of game.
Yeah,
but then it starts to get a little trickier. Crazy Taxi drops in 1999 and is one of the first blatant examples of product placement in a non-advert game, non-sports, non-racing game
Who did you guys play as in Crazy Taxi? I always chose the black guy because he always had his mouth was open and stuff like that.
But
And he
the
had a cool
immersion
hat.
argument is still potentially there. Yeah, brands like Pizza Hut and KFC pop up in this game a lot, but
Yeah,
also,
KFC.
if you were a taxi driver, you would probably see brands like KFC and Pizza Hut. Like, as a passenger,
Yeah,
it's
Pizza
kind of
Hut, yeah.
hilarious to imagine getting into a cab just to go to a Pizza Hut
Yeah,
by
that don't make
yourself. Like,
sense.
just get the pizza delivered, but you get the point. Crazy
Yeah.
Taxi marks a point in time, I think, where
Hey,
the immersion argument behind product placement in video games really only does get trickier and trickier. I'm just gonna run through some examples real quick, and you let me know what you think down in the comments, gamers. Make sure to ring that bell and be notified.
Bro, classic ass YouTube intro 2006.
Can you let me know what you
Look
think
at
down in the
this.
comments, gamers? Make sure to ring
Look
that
at
bell
this. Not even 2006. Sorry, that's like 2014.
and be notified once a year. The Sonic
Classic.
Adventure 2
Oh yeah, once a year. 100%.
comments, gamers. Make sure to ring that bell and be notified once a year. In Sonic Adventure
Fuck
2,
yeah.
Sonic's shoes are officially soap branded shoes. You know, like the shoes that you put on, you can like slide down rails and get all soapy
Really?
and shit. Hey, go off. That's
I didn't
kinda
know
hard.
that.
Fucking Shadow got the foams on. In Enter the Matrix, apparently.
Bro, Enter the Matrix, bro. I was literally thinking about the advertisement of this game. You drive past the I don't
The
remember
only
what you drive
beverage that
past,
exists
but-
in this
Oh yeah, Mountain
universe
Dew.
is Powerade.
Or Powerade, sorry.
Maybe because it comes in green and can just kind of fit the whole
But there's an ad when you're in the
Matrix-y
driving
vibe.
as well.
Hey guys. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, a game all about remaining undetected and slinking around in the shadows. Ooh, you know what would really help you to remain undetected is if you just fucking reeked of Axe body spray and
What?
Airwaves gum and your Nokia phone
Airwaves.
was like... That last game is notable because it was one of the first to utilize dynamic advertising, meaning that it uses the internet to change what ads you see in-game
Wait,
depending on
what?
the time of day and region. Ubisoft was one of the first to do this type of chicanery, but definitely not the last. Thanks, Ubisoft, I love you. Please don't
I
hurt
didn't
my
know they
family.
did all
please.
that.
It was
That's
Brian.
crazy.
Brian did it. And surprise,
God damn
surprise,
it,
guess
Brian.
what other companies started doing this in the 2000s as well?
Yeah.
EA? No. Not our EA. Couldn't be precious EA. Madden, Need for Speed, even the skate games got in on it with different dynamic ads appearing on like billboards and buses and shit. But my favorite example by far is in Burnout Paradise, where in 2008 they ran political ads for Obama. Hey
Wait,
kids, when you're not too busy
what?
T-boning your fellow Americans at 200 miles per hour, vote for me, dude. I'll put f***ing beer in the vending machines. Now going back to that whole but does it add to the immersion debate, that conversation really only does get trickier and trickier as gaming grows bigger and bigger. Obviously, when it's an ad for
Sneak
game that
King,
has
oh my
like the
goodness.
fucking king himself on the front of the box,
Shout out to the completionist when he completed the Sneak King games. Shout out to him, Gerard.
that's one thing. Like, you
Sorry you lost your job at G4, but hey.
know what you're getting into if you buy that. But when the king shows up in your $60
Fight Night.
game that you just purchased with your hard-earned paycheck, that hits a little bit different. I'm not
Why
saying
is
it's
the king in
always
Fight Night?
necessarily bad. Like, it could be funny or whatever, but it is different. Like, when I skipped school to drop $60 on Uncharted 3, and I
Oh
boot
my
up the
God,
multiplayer,
Subway.
just to be
Oh
assaulted
my
by
God.
the smell of Subway bread reeking up my home. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's
Dude.
Subway bread.
It's in the game. I only remember the cheesy ad. He's like, Subway, eat fresh.
There's a very
No
specific
way.
tang to it. Like the pH balance is all fucked up. Alan Wake is a better example for us to discuss as far as the immersion shit goes, okay? It's a single player,
pH balance.
offline, Remedy-made game, okay? I love Remedy. Max Payne is like my favorite game ever. Now,
played it.
in theory, having
good?
brands like Energizer and Verizon show up in your realistically portrayed world is potentially fine, especially when a main mechanic of the game is using batteries for your flashlight. But when these very specific ads repeat themselves over and over, and you get a f***ing achievement for sitting down and
watching the
an entire
ad?
on a fake TV in a fake universe.
Dude,
Alan,
no,
wake the
bro.
f up. We're going back to GameStop. We're returning this game and we're buying Yahtzee. I don't give a shit anymore. We're getting Yahtzee for the 360. I think an argument for immersive PP with more solid ground is the Yakuza series. Now, I've never played these games, but based on
Oh,
what
you're
I've
missing out,
watched
Nakey.
and
They're
read,
really
they
good.
seem to incorporate
Sega.
a wide variety of
Sega's all
Japanese
over.
brands in a much more subtle and potentially world-building way. And I'm not trying to get preachy and say you should feel one way or
wanna
the other
play
about
Yakuza
this.
now.
I'm just saying, I think if you're gonna argue for immersion, there's more of a substantial argument to be made with this game series. Versus Kojima just straight up putting brands like Doritos and Mountain Dew and Axe body spray into the Japanese version of Peace Walker. With his reasoning being to keep things fresh and to surprise players. Like, okay, dude, how about you focus on—
Wait, what about the Playboy? He's been putting Playboy in there. And Metal Gear Solid 4 had the MP3 player. You can't lie. And it had a whole podcast on there with several episodes. Like, that shit was pretty dope. And his fourth wall breaking this, like, welcome to the Metal Gear Solid Integral Podcast. And they're like talking about, oh, if you're on this mission, do this and this. Oh, you might have to take off the MP3 player and put on the goggles so you could do the solid eye so you can do this. It's pretty fucking cool, man. That was dope.
Surprising us with another two-dimensional character with giant boobs that breathe through her skin, and not a fucking ad for Ride with Norman Reedus Sundays in a game where I'm supposed to be taking Mr. Reedus seriously as Sam Porter Bridges. Get it? His last name is Bridges because he's gonna bridge together the fucking US. I don't mean to just roast Kojima, okay? I own every game. I have art books. I have a huge crush on Sniper Wolf, not that one, the one with the polygonal setup. But come on, if you even think about going in the comments and arguing that the inclusion of Monster Energy or Ride with Norman Reedus Sundays adds to the immersion of this universe, or is a fourth wall breaking move from an auteur you just don't understand. Alan, wake the fuck up.
I think it depends on how they do it, right? Because if you just have Monster Energy,
think about going in the comments and arguing that the inclusion,
like, you literally just have it like that, then no, it fucking breaks it. It's like, what the hell is this shit doing here? Now, if you're just walking around, whatever, and you find a can of Monster, that's totally different, which could also break it, but it's not as bad as literally seeing 2, 4, 5 cans just in my fucking face. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same.
But you want to know what really changed advertising in video games?
What?
Mobile games. That shit
done went
that
don't
changed
count.
the entire fucking galaxy.
You're playing the game and then you get a whole ad. Like, it's not the same.
Because if you release a free-to-play game and you run ads on it, and that game does
watch an ad
even a
for an
little
extra
bit
life.
well, you could potentially make a lot of money. The Flappy Bird guy claimed he was making like $50K a day when that game was blowing up, and then he hated his life from all the mean messages and attention he got, which is really sad. And a lot of the time, the ads in these free mobile games are just for other mobile games that 90% of the time don't even fucking exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ads aren't real either. Like, we all love watching that one ad with the zombies and Zombie Survivor or whatever. The ads are freaking brilliant, but it's not the game. At least I don't think it is. I never downloaded it, but the ads are pretty fire.
Or are just like really weird,
or this
like
shit
really sexual, like an off-brand ass Costco render of SpongeBob, like on an island with like Peter Griffin, and there's some shitty text-to-speech that's like,
"Grandma got away with it again. No one can get past level 5 without coming."
Man mixed like 3 different ads, bro. You mixed the Pornhub ad and some other shit on there, homie.
That's a different type of game. We all know what type of game I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know what game. Yeah.
Make sure to choose your color of cum.
And then surprise, surprise, the free-to-play model makes its way over to consoles with games like Fortnite, constantly having different promotions or events like the trailer premiere for Tenet or an Ariana Grande concert.
Really? Tenet was on there?
Or events like the trailer premiere for Tenet.
Wow. Hey, if you guys haven't seen Tenet, go watch it. It's really good.
Or an Ariana Grande concert. And a lot of that stuff is actually pretty cool and like well integrated, and because the game is free, nobody really cares that much. Like, credit where it's due to Fortnite. Everybody kind of wins. Well, except the children who are preyed upon with their marketing to spend money on their mommy's credit card, but you know,
it is what it is.
But here's the kick. First of all, I'm gonna take this off because it's really hot and it's like impossible to see anything through these. So I'm just gonna go soccer.
Breaking the immersion.
Mom style for the rest of the video.
Breaking
you know
immersion,
your favorite companies, you know your best friends.
My man literally put the 3 companies nobody likes.
Well, they started incorporating those same business practices in the free-to-play model of in-game microtransactions and advertising in not-so-free
Man, why you stop the goddamn song?
$60 fully priced video games. Like at one point, NBA 2K and UFC 4 had straight-up mid-roll ads that played during downtime or even interrupted game.
Street Fighter 5 did the same thing. Literally, it used to be a normal loading screen. Now it literally has advertisements for DLC on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Street Fighter V is an absolute joke, and you can't tell me otherwise.
You know, like a mobile game does with the Peter Griffin grandma situation. Also, 2K assaults you with microtransactions like every 5 seconds, so maybe just don't play that game and just...
If you want to play NBA 2K and you want to take it like seriously online, you need to buy the standard edition. Don't buy that Michael Jordan Legend edition or Kobe Bryant. Don't buy that shit. Buy the normal edition and then pick this one here, the 99 VC. Pick that one 2 times, and then you click the 1999 one time, and then you're good. It sounds absolutely shitty and ridiculous, but hey, that's what you got to do if you want to be the best. Don't even waste your time with this shit. Gotta spend the big money.
He assaults you with microtransactions like every 5 seconds, so maybe just don't play that game and just go play basketball outside. Like, yeah! Yeah! And unlike the subtle plug that Scott Adams did back in 1978, modern games love to remind you that their hot, sexy new game is out too, and you should really go out and buy that one. But when that adds even one step or loading screen between me and getting to play the game that I actually want to play, my patience runs out faster than Brian on track and field day. And let me tell you, that kid is dumb as hell, but he is quick. Earlier this year, Sony and Microsoft both announced that they're streamlining the process of integrating ads into free-to-play games on their respective marketplaces.
What does that mean?
Similar to how ads are integrated into games on your iPhone through the App Store. Now, in an absolute best-case scenario of how these ads get implemented, hardworking game devs getting more money for the blood, sweat, and fears they dump into their indie game or whatever, while ads are subtly placed on billboards or benches or used in like a immersive world-building way like the Yakuza series, that's fine.
I thought they meant in the PlayStation Store there will be ads for other games. But no, like the ad, like in Battlefield 2042, there's like a billboard in the middle of the desert that has like a random ass ad, and it changes like every day, every other day or something like that.
In theory.
Ridiculous.
But after going over everything I've gone through, I think we all know that's probably not how it's gonna shake out. And not to be a depressing Darren, but if history repeats itself, all signs point towards AAA companies slowly inserting more and more ads in their paid AAA games too, because again, look at how much fucking money ads make on mobile games. You seriously think those AAA bigwig execs aren't noticing that shit? Have you heard the way these lizard people talk? They already tried doing...
Former EA CEO, what'd you say?
Have you heard the way these lizard people talk?
Former EA CEO devs who don't focus on microtransactions are the biggest fucking idiots. That being said, they are also the most beautiful and pure, brilliant people.
They already tried doing it with those sports games. It's just like microtransactions. Years ago, nobody thought they would ever put that shit in a fully priced $60, or I guess now $70 paid game like Gran Turismo 7, but money talks. And unfortunately, Activision Blizzard and EA and all these companies learned to speak money on Duolingo because in 2021, Activision Blizzard made over $5 billion on microtransactions alone.
Ah, damn!
With a...
That's $5 billion. Golly.
B and an I and a T for Ted. And just like with microtransactions, gamers are gonna push back and complain, but at the end of the day, a lot of you, mostly children probably, which is really unfortunate.
No, it's not just the children. Stop. Gamers are, you guys, we complain about this and that, and at the same time we will still go out and buy it.
That children are frequently the ones preyed upon with this shit. A lot of us stupid gamers are still gonna buy the fucking thing because the day I can't live out my Steph Curry power fantasy is the day I alley-oop off this mortal coil, so help me God. So yeah, that's where we're at now.
Gamers are one trailer away from changing their mind about anything.
Not to end this video on a depressing note, but I guess my only real message that you should maybe take away from this is don't pre-order games. Just don't. I've done it.
Yeah, and it's harder to say that.
Take away from this is don't pre-order games.
It's hard to say don't pre-order games when they come with some like cool shit like this, like some fan art and shit like this. But it's also even harder for people that do it as a career like me when it's pre-order the game now and get 7 days early access to the story mode. Hey man, I'm trying to compete. I have no choice but to partake in this predatory system. They give you early access to something. you're the first one to put it on YouTube. You recoup the money back. I mean, it is what it is.
Just don't.
It's
I've
easy
done
to
it.
say that,
You've done
but-
it. We've all wanted to play that game the second it comes out. But
Boy, hell no. Not this version. I played this version. That shit didn't even work.
honestly, just wait even an hour to see if A, the game even runs properly. Like,
I mean, it's hard to say that too. You said wait 1 hour, but the game IGN's gonna drop a review, and that shit's gonna be a 9 out of 10 anyway. So you can't even really wait. What am I gonna wait on Angry Joe to release the review? Angry Joe, it takes him like a week at the least to drop a review on some new shit. I can't just wait for Angry Joe Vargas to create a review once like a month after the game done came out. Everybody else has played it, or they reviewed it, or they done this and that. So I can't even really do nothing. I just gotta. You saying I have to literally just wait and watch everybody else have fun, or potentially miss out? It's not possible. It's not happening, Nakey.
it was advertised to,
It's not
or
happening.
B, doesn't have a bunch of shitty business practices implemented that completely ruin the experience. People should be paid for their incredibly hard work, 100%.
But they're not. They're
But
not.
also, as a consumer, when you buy something, you should know what you're paying for, right? Like when you
100%.
watch a video for free on YouTube, it would probably make sense for that person
They
to
get a
run
like
an
button.
ad on that video to make them some money
Oh,
so
that
they
too.
could buy cool stuff.
Oh, hell
like a
yeah.
jet ski,
Put multiple
right?
ads if you have to.
You would want them to buy a jet ski even though they live in the city and they
Like you
definitely
would.
couldn't afford or fit a jet ski and maintain that jet ski, right? You would want that, right?
Nakey, what?
Okay. Happy we could get on the same page, Brian. I appreciate that, man. Thanks again to Op.
Bro, what? And then he ends it off with an ad. Oh my god, Nakey, you're freaking. That last part, I it's like there's no solution. I get the video, I get the ads. I like the video. It was a good video, very entertaining, very funny. But the ending and the solution isn't even like a real ass solution. It's some bullshit ass solution. Just wait to see if you should get the game or not. You know, don't pre-order. Like, bro, we've been saying don't pre-order for years, but now the pre-order incentives are getting even better. Besides just like the digital art and stuff like that, you get early access to multiplayer or single player content. Like, the early access is a good ass incentive to pre-order the game. Like, it's crazy. But I mean, I don't really have a answer either. Like, ads in video games, ads are coming, man. There's nothing we can really do about it. The only time we had the ability to do something about it, gaming culture in general didn't take it seriously. Back when DLC was first announced, everybody was fine with it. You know, it's like $9 for a horse in Oblivion or something like that. Nobody took it seriously, and now look what happened. Like, we had the loot boxes, now we have the battle pass. In my opinion, I think the battle pass might be a little bit worse than the loot box. Like, honestly, have you seen Overwatch's 2 battle pass? That thing is atrocious. It's terrible. I didn't even buy the battle pass on Overwatch 2 because it's like, what's the point? There's really no way to get what you want. And then Genshin Impact came out two years ago, and dude, they made so much money off their gacha system. I'm guaranteeing you, like, the next 5 years, more games are going to integrate some type of gacha system into it. So I don't know, man. There's really no solution. Ads are going to be here. Great video, Nakey. You know, I can't wait for the next one to come out next year. And until then, guys, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. If you got any ideas how to stop ads in gaming, let me know. And I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.